So what we want to do today is to basically cover 3 topics plus minus in next 10 minutes. And while doing so, I like to take you from the story from the past to the future. And starting with a bit where we have been facing the IoT world today, we see that in the past 10 years, there has been a lot of different experiments related with IoT, from smart buildings to smart cities to water metering. And what we have noticed is that during these times, a lot of different players have been really trying hard to find where is the sweet spot. And I think that finally we have found one, and it's related with the water metering. So what we experience today is what we call a first inflection point. And this is something what we have noticed is primarily driven by the large utilities across the globe. And one of the reasons of getting closer to the first real growth in IoT is related with the water stress across the globe. An interesting fact is that around 30% of all tap water today is disappearing in the pipes across Europe. And the only way to tackle that issue is to know where it's happening, and smart metering plays a big role on that. On the back of it, we see that the first inflection point is primarily driven by utilities, especially in the France, Spain, and in the UK. And in the UK especially, it's very well supported by the Ofwat, the water regulator, who is pushing the water companies now to put more than 10 million smart meters on the ground within next 10 years. And on the back of that, Netmore has won one of the largest worldwide deals with Yorkshire Water to implement these 1.3 million water meters in next then 3 to 5 years. What it creates is basically a completely new visibility for both consumers as well as the utilities, to make sure that the water that is just disappearing in the water network is now saved more or less by half. And this is a massive amount of millions of liters of water that will be saved in the water stress areas. Now, when these networks that are capturing the smart metering are already built in one area, we are expecting the second inflection point to happen, which is primarily driven by all other use cases related with not only any more smart metering, but moreover with utility-related use cases, energy efficiency, and all the smart city use cases that can now effectively utilize this network moving forward. And this is already happening today. One of our first implementations in southern Sweden, we see that the use cases that are not related to water but are related with waste management or street lighting are already accounting 15 to 20% of the total volume. So hence giving actually the right example on how the IoT in the future could look like. So these 3 phases, if we can say, first of all, sort of little bit the discovery phase, the first inflection point in the back of the utilities, and now the second inflection point in the back of all the other use cases is something that we believe is the secret source of the LoRaWAN and overall IoT success in the market.
Okay, thank you very much. That was actually very interesting, because you got me with the point of that 30% of the water is actually being lost in the pipes. That is quite a lot. That's almost 1/3. So how does this then work? If you are implementing that smart metering, how do I have to visualize that? Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so if you take it's a simple logic. When you put the metering point in the house and one in the transportation pipe, and then you basically start seeing where in the system the water is leaking. There is one exception in Europe, and this country is Netherlands, where only 3% of water is leaking, being the forerunner. So therefore in Netherlands we see much lower pickup in the smart metering than in other European countries, because simply you have fixed the problem already. Yeah.
So what makes this pipe leaking then? Is that because I know Netmore is also operating in the north where you have a lot of cold, so you have more pipes that are breaking because of the cold there, or what is the main reason?
Yeah, I think in the simplest term, the main reason is the old pipes. And the second thing is that also when there is a lot of changes in the pipe system, that creates naturally the leakages. Why Netherlands has been in the forefront of it is that more or less 10, 15 years ago, there was a decision to effectively change all the pipes at once. So that was a good decision by the Dutch government to push this initiative forward. But if you don't have that type of investment program in place, the second best one is to know exactly where it's happening and react very quickly.
Yeah, so summarized, whenever you're gonna place new pipes in the ground, make sure to contact Netmore to have smart metering and make efficient cities, efficient water supplies, and know where to go for fixing a problem. Thank you so much for your inspiration. Thank you. Applause, please.